Yo, what up, dude? So I've been kind of playing around here in the backyard training lab for the last few days, honestly, trying to create some sort of drill or movement progression that will give us decent feedback in regards to instilling a little bit of forward momentum and accelerating into our drive phase. And a few things, I'll just kind of start talking about these and set them up, but a few things that I found that could be beneficial for training the motor control pattern will be as followed. So this is just, this is a little device here that came with the Pro boards that I got, but honestly, this is not something that you need. You can also do like a band, but all we're trying to do right now is replicate, you know, a pulling sensation, because if you're anything like me as a pitcher, you've always been told to keep the head over the back side. You want to, you know, keep everything back, and then you want to go. So when we're talking about, you know, incorporating a little bit of more forward momentum, it's going to be going against a motor control pattern that is going to feel completely off. So we got to overemphasize that feeling. So something like this has been good in the last few hours, just to kind of incorporate. You'll see these bands are going to want to pull me forward, right? So I'm going to get to a point where there's a pretty good amount of tension. Try not to mess my mic up here. So pretty good amount of tension. And again, all I'm trying to do is instill this motor control pattern of when I lift my leg, I'm gonna get pulled forward, okay? Which is fine. I gotta start training my body, training my arms and my hands to move with my body, okay? A lot of the times you're gonna start seeing guys trying to incorporate forward momentum and they're gonna rush, they're gonna get disconnected, and so on and so forth. So if we can start training, you know, the body on how to respond to incorporating forward momentum in a dry setting, then we'll be better equipped to do it on the mound. So it's gonna look something like this. Again, band pulling you forward. You can also do this with a partner with a band, something that's gonna just be pulling you forward. So leg lift and go. Again, I'm just kind of training my hands to get out and my head to establish direction. And once I get to the point where I feel comfortable, then I can obviously start my throwing. Okay, so again, just trying to feel this out, leg lift, go. Okay, so I feel the pulling sensation. I'm gonna back up, create a little overemphasize here. Okay, so pulling. Now I'm gonna kind of progress into a throw. Okay, so the throw is gonna obviously provide more feedback, but you gotta be careful with throwing before you get an understanding of how your hands are supposed to move. Because if you're getting pulled at a pretty drastic rate that you're used to, your hands aren't gonna know what to do, okay? So you gotta teach the hands to start moving faster. This is why I believe that, you know, foot rhythm is crucial, because I think the hands match the feet. So if we're going to start our throwing with a drill like this, we need to make sure that the hands are moving with the feet. Okay, so you increase the tempo of the foot, and then now you got to increase the tempo of the hands. It's what I talked about in regards to that Jacob deGrom, and everyone was talking about he drastically changed his arm path. And I just simply suggested that maybe he didn't change his arm path, maybe he just increased the tempo of his forward move, and that naturally increased the tempo of his hands getting into those positions that we want to get into. So like I said, you can use something like this. You can also use, like if you have a band, right? You can have a band and then have something hooked to this that's going to be pulling you forward, and all you're trying to do is just instill the pattern of boom, forward momentum, get the hands going, okay? Boom, forward momentum, get the hands going. So we can start training the body that when we do start to accelerate, that we need to be able to control our head and our hands through time and space, okay? We don't want to get too disconnected, because then establishing forward momentum is not going to do any good. So